Welcome into Big Hitters Only. The Tar Heels fall 97-83 to a really good SMU team. We got David Allen here on the podcast, one of our favorite guest hosts. David, what'd you say?
I said, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Dude, I was driving back, dude. I got so many freaking squirrels in my yard that like bury and dig acorns. So my whole yard is like fucked with like acorn holes. Anyway, that was what I was going to tell you about. Brought to you by Roback, BHO20 at checkout. David, my two kind of big takeaways on this game. Obviously, you're not going to win many games when the opposing team hits 14 threes, goes 14 for 27 from three, 51.9%, and goes 60% from the field. But I think beyond UNC's defensive issues or SMU's really good offense, which one is it? We'll get into it. I also think SMU found a way to really limit UNC's best players, Henry Vasar and Caleb Wilson. And you kind of saw for almost the first time this season, the issues when Wilson and Vasar don't go for like 18 plus each. What are your general takeaways on this game? Nice shirt, by the way. Chambray.
Appreciate it. That wasn't my immediate takeaway, but I don't think you're wrong. Because I think Wilson and Vasar both, they both took 11 shots, but they both weren't getting the shots that they're used to getting in rhythm. Especially, I think Caleb was in traffic around the hoop a lot. Vasar had a couple of trailing threes that he made, but yeah, they definitely did a good job, mixing in some zone of making those two guys not get the shots they want, and then make, Seth take 16 shots, make Jaren Stevenson beat you, which he almost did because he went 5 of 6 tonight, which is something that we've been looking for, all season to see him get hot. But if I was a team defending Carolina, I would want to employ that strategy, make someone else other than Henry Vasar and Caleb Wilson beat me. So, and then, on the other end, how about score 97 points? Like, that's a pretty good recipe for beating any team, much less a Carolina team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this SMU team would lose to anybody the way they played offensively. I mean, nothing UNC tried, and did they try different things? Nothing. Like, the whole game, it was consistent barrage of made threes, and when they weren't making threes, they were getting to the hoop and being able to score with ease. I mean, 60% from the field is unbelievable. I mean, I was watching with some buddies in Fisher Park, and buddy Carr was like, "Yeah, they can't keep up this 3-point shooting. Like, this won't last. Like, you never hit that well for the first half and then follow it up in the second half." And I'm not sure it might have even been better in the second half. And SMU pulled away. There was a stretch there when UNC cut it to a certain lead, and all right, momentum, and they just kept hitting threes. Let's see, second half box. Yeah, they were 60% from three in the second half and 41% from three in the first half. So, yeah, they were better in the second half, and they just pulled away at the end there. The last 12 minutes, it was just an extension of the lead. Defense, let's talk about that. That's the clear issue, how well SMU played on offense or how bad UNC played on defense. Was there anything that stood out from you about how UNC was trying to defend them and then the adjustments they ended up trying to make?
Yeah, I think the main thing, and it goes hand in hand with the 3-point shooting of, obviously, everything looks better when the ball's going in, but it felt like a lot of penetration, dishing to corner threes or threes that were open for the most part, where the UNC wings were unable to close out. And I think if Caleb was playing the 3 and you had a more traditional 4 and 5, you could see Caleb be like a kind of free safety roaming, trying to, defend the perimeter a little bit more. But the way it is now, where him and Henry are playing a little bit both more on the interior, the wing defense seems to be a problem. Seth is undersized, as we talked about, and can guard some wings. But today, it didn't feel like Carolina had an answer defensively. I think Bogovats is pretty suspect on D at this point. And Stevenson, I think, has been that Swiss Army knife that we hoped he would be, but he hasn't been completely unlocked yet, I would say, on the defensive end. Does that feel fair to you?
Yeah, I mean, the way you broke that down, I think Boopy Miller had his way off screen and rolls to kind of get into the middle, and then he could dish it. And the defense, it's what you always want to do. You want to collapse the defense and hit open shooters. Yes. And SMU had tons of open shots. So, how does that happen? It's defensive breakdowns. It's, lack of size to get out there, like you said. A lot of things went wrong. I just didn't like how it didn't seem like Hubert was calling timeouts to make changes. And if he did make some halftime adjustments or timeout, it just didn't work. So at some point, you have to be like, all right, we'll try something that works. And I noticed that they threw a lot of different defenders at Boopy. Almost all the different perimeter guys would guard him at some point. They tried Evans, Derek Dixon, Seth Trimble, and Jonathan Powell, and even Luka to try to slow down Boopy Miller. Boopy finished with, let me pull it up here, 27 points, unbelievable game, 10 of 13
dimes as well.
Yeah, 12 assists and 27 points. Yeah, so he had his way. He was able to score the perimeter, 10 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. Yeah, and the 12 assists. Gosh, I didn't see that. He's an experienced guard. This is his 5th year in college basketball. He started off at Central Michigan, played 1 year at Wake Forest, as many UNC fans will remember, and then this is his 2nd year in the system under Andy Enfield at SMU. And the inability to slow him down as the point guard, the straw starting to drink, was what caused this huge offensive performance by SMU. And he had B.J. Edwards and Washington just being pretty clutch from 3. Washington finished with 5 threes. So I don't know, man. I mean, there were times when I was like, all right, let's get a timeout and figure out something. It's too easy. They're scoring way too easy. So I don't know, man. I'm not an X and O's guy to know exactly what they should have done better, or maybe don't have the pieces to combat a team that's scoring this efficiently, or maybe it's just one of those games. And it's seen plenty of those where it's just one of those games.
What do you make at this point of? I'm looking at the last 5 games. Kyan Evans has played 16, 17, 23, and then today I believe it ended up being 14 minutes. Obviously, in the last game against FSU, kind of his best game. Well, I don't know if it was best game of the season because he made 5 shots, but they were all threes. I still feel like I'm hearkening back to the conversation we had at the beginning of the year where we were asking what our biggest question marks was, and I feel like we are almost halfway through the season, and I still feel like there are some question marks that, ultimately in crunch time, who is your 5 and who is your premier ball handler, the guy who you want initiating the offense. And you and I were texting today, is it going to end up being Dixon? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we're any closer to an answer after today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it. All right, this is the issue. Kyan Evans, if he's going to be a minus defender, if he's going to be which he is, he is not some plus defender. He's average, not below average. I mean, he can occasionally kind of get in there and use his quickness to defend. If he's not going to be a really good defender, which he's not, he's going to have to score and be last game, like you said, 5 for 12 from 3. I guess you'll take that. You'll take 5 made threes anytime, but he's just not scoring at the rate you need him to, because he's not UNC's 1st, 2nd, 3rd option, maybe not even the 4th option who's on the court, depending on the lineup. So yeah, he's not. He doesn't excite me. And when he is kind of on, which has happened twice this season, it looks good, and you're like, damn, okay, this is why we signed him. But you're not seeing him getting the mid range. You're not seeing him.
No.
He hit 1 3 this game. I think that was it, right? Yeah, 1 3. That looks good, but got to do that more. You got to make 2 or 3 threes. You're going to start.
Sure. Okay, so you mentioned earlier, you said that isn't the key to college basketball collapsing the D, kicking it out, right? Yeah. So Kyan Evans has taken 25 twos this year and 62 threes. In a perfect world, I think your point guard has to. I want him to be able to shoot, obviously, but I don't think he is a big enough threat off of the screen and roll as a penetrator of the paint. That's there's some alliteration for you.
Yeah, PPP.
I don't think he scares D that much, and therefore I think that's one of the issues with him. So I think Dixon does that a little better, although I'm not looking at the stats to back that up immediately. So,
well, penetrating and D there references from you.
Yeah, way too many, dude. Way too many.
Well, who on UNC's roster is best at getting the paint?
So here's my dream. I tweeted this out. What was the game we played in Georgia? How am I already forgetting that? The Atlanta game.
Ohio State.
All right. So I tweeted this out. Seth's return, right? The most fun version of this team is rebound, turn, you're running, and it's Seth, Caleb, Stevenson, Vasar, and then you find someone who's hot shooting. and you basically let Seth and Caleb be the ones who initiate the offense, try to play with pace, and have shooting and size around them, I think that is the best version of this team. But in the half court, I'm not sure it is. Like, you might want to have a more traditional Evans or Dixon initiating the offense, but like to me, when you're in the Ohio State game, I'm seeing a rebound, turn, and a guy being able to look at Wilson and Trimble running on the wings, and I'm like, oh, that looks like fun Carolina transition basketball. But it's hard to play that 35 games a season, 40 minutes a game, you know?
Back to the question, though, who do you think in the half court is the best at getting into the paint from the perimeter? There's an answer I'm looking for.
I mean, in the guard division specifically?
Yeah.
I think it's Seth, right? I mean...
Yeah. Seth can get into the lane with ease. He is controlled. He's athletic. He knows how to play the pick and roll. And he did pretty well today doing that. Like, he is the best at getting into the paint. And so if that's what you want as your point guard or as your initiator, I mean, Seth's your guy. I like Dixon. I think everything looks better with Dixon because he adds the size. He's athletic enough. Dude, and he hits, I mean, this game wasn't a great example, but he does hit open threes. Like, he's been UNC's most consistent three-point shooter, I think, in fewer minutes than anybody. So I'm a big fan of the Derek Dixon, Seth Trimble, Stevenson, Caleb, Henry Vasar lineup. Like, I agree. Luka's become he looked better today on offense because he hit a couple shots. Like, it's all you need to do. To make me happy, hey, hit 2 threes, hit 2 open threes, and you've kind of gotten off my shit list, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, to your point about Luka, coming into today, he's shooting 31% from 3, which is not what you were hoping for coming into the season. You were hoping for a reliable perimeter, guy that Seth would be kicking to if he is getting into the lane. So,
yeah, no, you're looking for you wanted him to shoot 38% from 3. Same with Cayenne. Cayenne shooting 45% from the field and 35% from 3. I mean, it's just like be paying these guys a lot to do that, and they're not doing that, and they don't add much. They don't have that dog in them defensively. I mean, they're trying, and I'm sure they're very team first, and it does look good when they win. So this is one game, and so you can't bash them too much off just one game. But there's definitely, I think UNC was definitely exposed some on defense today, and some offensively well. Let's talk about Roback. Dude, I did a shopping spree for Roback for Christmas. Got my fiance, I got some friends, some Roback sweatshirts. They have another blue one. Me and my beautiful fiance got matching sweatshirts. Roback is so comfortable. Great polos for golf. You're not too far away from golf season, David. They have tons of stuff, not just UNC stuff. Their non-UNC stuff is a little cheaper, so it's a great opportunity to get a good shirt, good sweatshirt, joggers. They have everything now. Roback. Promo code BHO20. It's actually been a really good promo code for us to help us support the podcast and pay Connor and Garrett behind the scenes on producing this podcast. So we appreciate those who have bought stuff from Roback using that BHO20 promo code. David, why don't you tease your podcast? I got invited on, or I got a tentative invite to it.
I was told to not leave this recording session without getting a date confirmed with you, so we'll try to do that later. Yeah, 2 Daves and a mic. Had a holiday special that just came out. Hope you'll give us a listen. Ross went viral on Instagram over the Christmas break. Almost 100,000 views on a little Instagram post that had nothing to do with sports. So that's
who did?
We did, yeah. We posted a 10-second clip of me and Michael changing clothes, whose outfit was who, and somehow that is what took us over the edge to 100,000
That went viral on Instagram?
Yeah.
No shit. I saw it. It was
never
good.
know what you're going to get.
Yeah. So check out that podcast.
Yeah, 2 Daves and a mic.
Good stuff. We really appreciate David coming on. All right. I mean, there's so much X and O stuff you can talk about. That's not our forte. I guess, got into a broader conversation now of the kind of the issues this exposed. I think the Caleb Wilson, Henry Vasar thing here, this is, like I said at the top, it was an example of a team. They double teamed Caleb Wilson, it looked like, on the catch in the post. It was an immediate double team, at least in the first half. And then Henry Vasar had a really big, stronger body to go against. So it kind of gives you a recipe of a team that will give UNC struggles. He's a Turkish guy, Samit. I'm not going to pronounce his last name. Starts with a Y. I mean, he didn't do much offensively or defensively, but there were times when he was bodying Henry Vasar and clearly made things a little more difficult down low when he was in. Let's look at the stats for rebounding. I know this is bad podcasting, but it's not as great of a rebounding game either for the Tar Heels. 7 for Caleb Wilson, and Vasar 6 for Vasar. You usually look at double figures from that. And you count on them for, 18 points a game each, plus 20 points a game plus each for those two guys, and they were limited. Caleb didn't really get comfortable. He wasn't getting the easy baskets, off of rebounds, off of transition, off of hustle plays that we're used to seeing. And Vasar just never got cooking in the interior with the dunks we've gotten so used to seeing. Did hit 2 threes. What did you see from those two guys? Any concerns? I'm not too worried about them, but is there anything that stood out from how they played and how SMU defended them?
I think it's just like we mentioned this kind of at the top, but it's like when a team is making it difficult on you initiating offense, getting the ball to your stars, how can you find ways in the half court to free them up a little bit more to where you're not forcing it in the paint and Caleb's not having to take a turnaround jumper, which he's very good at, but like a contested shot. Like how many times today did you see, I would be very curious to go back and see of Caleb's 11 shots, how many of them were on like putbacks, like where he's getting an offensive rebound and then trying to finish somebody else's shot. It didn't feel like a true, like we designed 11 shots for Caleb, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's a top 5 player in college basketball. Like I want him shooting more than 11 times a game.
Yeah.
And he's been so highly efficient. I went and looked earlier. 15 games this season, he's been above 50% from the field in 12 of the 15 games, right? Like you have been put on your team a guy who scores the ball effectively, not a horrible 3-point shooter, but like take advantage of that. And then with Vasar, still trying to find that mix of of post ups to also using him as a when he screens, fading instead of rolling and knocking down threes that way. They're not my biggest concern, like you said. Like I'm not worried about them going forward. Just more worried about designing an offense around these two studs and finding a way now that Seth is back to like use that as kind of your big 3 offensively. Put shooting around them, put spacing around them, ride the hot hand elsewhere.
It's a great point. A couple things there. What's made them so good, and Caleb's been super effective with those putbacks, those easy baskets. SMU eliminated that. Was that by boxing out more? Was that by kind of knowing where he is, bodying him up a little bit more? So it just didn't seem like those opportunities that he's had against lesser competition, and even against great competition, it just wasn't there. So Caleb wasn't getting comfortable and getting those easy baskets. It seems like every game, 6 or 8 points are off just hustle plays, offensive rebounds, putbacks, things like that, and transition. Those weren't there. I mean, he had 1 dunk, I think, at the end. He's used to seeing him have 2 or 3 dunks a game. You didn't see the high-low from Vasar to Caleb Wilson, which we've become so used to seeing. That's been so effective and so beautiful to watch. And so that was a couple baskets there that we're used to seeing where one gets double teamed and it's a quick pass to the other, or they're just playing off each other. So SMU did something to limit that, or just wasn't clicking. And I agree, this is a big thing. Like, you do have the best player. I mean, kind of echoing what you said. Offense has got to, in a way, run through him. Like, he's got to have a touch in some way on the perimeter, and then a touch down low, a touch of the high post. Like, he's got to, because he attracts so much gravity that, and we saw that he hit a guy for a 3. He had some good passes out of the double team, but I really think SMU's double team was effective initially in limiting what he could do and getting going offensively. And he's probably gonna be double teamed the majority of the games now, because you see it on tape and how it's been effective at times. It's probably the smart move. You automatically bring a perimeter defender on him and make him pass out of it, get the ball out of his hands. So SMU had a game plan, and it worked. And offensively, they ran stuff that they probably saw that UNC – I always thought UNC was a little sketchy on perimeter defense. I think they haven't gone against really good offensive teams yet, and they got exposed, and they made shots. And look, they could go a game and not hit 60% from 3 or whatever, or 55% from 3, and it's a really closer game. So kudos to them. I think Andy Enfield's a good coach. And it looks like they have some good players, man. I mean, that big guy is huge. The guys that hit shots, Boobie Miller's an experienced point guard. So I think this is going to be a top 25 team, and I think they'll be in the top 25 next week.
I'm not making some macro statement about Hubert. I'm not making some macro statement about this team. I just want to say this. I want to speak for the Carolina fan for a second. Why does it feel like we lose this game every year. And I don't mean SMU. I don't mean I mean like you can almost see it, smell it. It's like the Saturday 2:15. Yeah. It's on. Tom Brenneman's on the call, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a lot. I don't know why. It just feels like every year there's one of these games where it's like from the whistle, you're like, oh, this is not. We're never gonna get a lead. We're never gonna. We did end up getting a lead, but you know what I'm saying. I just feel like every year there's one or two of these games where it feels like we don't come out playing our best, and then you lose, and then I will say we've got enough quality wins already to where we're probably not going to be regretting it as much as we were last year. But think about last year when it's March and the selection committee, and you're thinking about all these games on Saturdays at 2:15 that you didn't show up and play SMU. So, and let me ask you a question. You tweeted something about the Dallas faithful. Did you have info on that? Because I was seeing people being like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a all Carolina crowd," and then you were like. Were you just doing a classic Ross Martin and messing, or did you have somebody on the ground?
No, I just figured the first time UNC's ever played there, it'd be tons of SMU fans. But then people were saying there was tons of UNC fans there. Yeah. So
okay.
I just figured like when Duke or UNC comes to a school like this, it's never seen Duke or UNC before.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like if I was in Dallas, like shit, Carolina's playing in Dallas. I'm gonna go to the game.
Not?
Students weren't there, but apparently there were a lot of UNC fans. But that makes sense as well. There's UNC fans everywhere, and like UNC does not play in Dallas very often. Like they're not going to play there next year. They haven't played before, you know. So how many times you get to see UNC if you're a greater Dallas Fort Worth fan? So, yeah,
I like that. That was not capital J journalism from Ross Martin. That was capital G guessing that there would be a big.
Yeah. On your point. What was even the point you made?
Just that it feels like we always lose this game.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen. But like, dude, that's little coaching. Like they came out slow, right? It was like 9-point down off the bat. There, they came out slow in the second half too. They caught back up in the first half. I mean, I hate to always blame Hubert, but I do think like the in-game stuff, like scripting plays to get Caleb involved. Like if there's double teaming, like get him the ball and have a play out of the timeouts that it gets him going or gets an open shot for people. And like it didn't seem like they had enough really good offensive chances when they were down there in the second half to get back in it. I would have loved a timeout at one point there as well, just settle down. And like there's got to be more like in-game stuff on defense and offense to adapt, because I didn't see the defense change at all, and my eye's not as good to see that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, but Hubert's not getting fired. Like he's gonna be the coach next year. No. You know, like he's done enough already. So it's just like, all right, well, we'll deal with it next year. See what happens next year. And if they keep getting $13 to $15 million rosters, they're gonna be a pretty good team regardless of the coaching, based on talent. I think they're probably pretty disappointed with what Kyan's been, especially expecting him to be the point guard, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're probably – because he wasn't their first choice. He wasn't their second choice. He wasn't their third choice. Like he was a backup option, and they overpaid for him as well. And he's probably not deserving to start, but they can't bench him because it hurt his confidence. But I think Dixon is the better player there. I like seeing Powell out there. I think Powell plays really hard. And I think with Seth, like you don't even need – like Seth needs more shots. Like he's looking great from three. That running three he caught, and everything was going one way, and he nailed a three. It was beautiful. And like we haven't seen that type of Seth Trimble yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm excited to see Seth continue to expand his game. And the last time I was on the pod, I said something about when Seth was injured, maybe this would give minutes for Evans and Dixon to figure out who it is that's gonna take a step up. And Dixon had a massive game at Georgetown, and I think maybe you and I both thought that like, oh, maybe this was the high point. And that from here on out, it was going to be his team. He was going to be running the offense, and that just hasn't happened. Even though he has been better. So we'll see as the season progresses.
Yeah, and I mean, if Dixon's got to get comfortable, and to get comfortable, you have to play more. So you kind of have to pick one, like the back and forth stuff. You kind of have to go with one at some point and bring the other guy in as the backup point guard. Like you can't be playing because both played under 20 minutes today.
They both played under 20 minutes, though.
Dixon played 17, Evans played 14.
Yeah, they both played under 20 because they did end up going to a more of what I was describing, where it's like Seth and then four, like Vasar, Wilson, Stevenson, and Bogovats, and Pat. Like they kind of went that direction, which that might be a look that they continue to try to see if that's successful. One thing that irks me, and I don't know, like I might be on a limb on this. I don't understand why Carolina traps full court traps and then releases out of it as soon as the first trap doesn't work. I'm like, if you guys want to trap with your athletic wings, then trap and then actually commit to it. Like, I don't get the like half doing it. It's like the football equivalent of getting to the line of scrimmage and hard counting and then being like, all right, we're calling a timeout. I'm like, just go all in or not. But they seem to love to half trap, basically.
Yeah, they started trapping there at the end, the last 8 minutes or so, and SMU had no trouble with it. I mean, they broke it. They broke it for easy two points and then another 2 points, and it just wasn't effective, so you had to get out of it. All right, I got a couple things. I want to read you some text from my buddy. I did it on another podcast. I did it on another podcast you weren't on. It's just very funny. It's vulgar, and people who listen to this podcast have heard these before. This guy is a Hubert hater, so I'm trying to give everybody a perspective of kind of how fans feel. Let's see. All right, this first 7 minutes of this is not me. This is my friend who's texting me. The first 7 minutes of this game prove that Hubert isn't the guy. Just a complete clown show. 5 turnovers and 5 points in 6 minutes with Caleb on the bench. Absolutely incompetent. Luka has to sit. Hubert's too much of a coward to do what is necessary. He's not a killer. Powell needs more playing time too. Instant give up three. These are like, I'm not even like responding. Instant give up threes, straight threes, no D, pathetic. Just a full step slower than they are. No one prepped for the game. No one amped up. No one ready to attack. Just lazy effing shit like always. Hubert would be a phenomenal church league coach, but this isn't the Baptist Ballers. This is pro ball now. I haven't even read these because that's trash ass effing shit is infuriating, mostly because it's predictable. And then we went on a 13-2 run. I was like, 13-2 run, bitch. He was like, dude, there's no crickets. Just watching talent hopefully outweigh shit coaching. Zayden High's been in the game for 3 seconds and it's already a -2. That is true. Zayden came in, he immediately gave up a basket and then gave up another one. He did have 2 points though. Disaster games. You're coaching the first 5 minutes. Just roll a ball out there, hope for the best. Absolutely no one paying attention to the game. No one scheming. No one trying to figure out how to stop their relentless threes. We suck, dude. It's not because of the players. The coaching is horrendous. I will keep saying it's such a joke. Where's Caleb? Where's Vasar? Nowhere, because the offensive schemes are pathetic. Non-existent, really. It goes on and on. This is every game. He texted me like this every game. It's just a stream of text right there.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of funny. People think that way. I try to walk them back from the ledge. This team is good. I think they're really good. I think it's a Sweet 16 for sure team. Like, they don't get there. That is an embarrassment. It should be there. They're good enough. I think they should be higher than 12. It's an off game. SMU shot really well. And we'll see you next week. I think we're going to do a podcast for Wake Forest. Just prep the podcast here. We'll do a Wake Forest pod. We also have a special guest recording on Friday. That podcast will air Monday. So it's going to be a combo podcast with a very, very, very special guest on Friday that will be combined with the Wake Forest postgame, and that will air on Monday, and that'll be the next podcast we release. I want 5 minutes now from David Allen on a movie that I want to see called Marty Supreme. Not 5 minutes. Give me 2-3 minutes on why you loved Marty Supreme.
Okay, can I say briefly, I know who the special guest is, and that person deserves an entire episode. Why are you combining them with the Wake Forest postgame?
Well,
That's
it's
because
they're only giving me 10 minutes with him.
Okay, all right.
So it's kind of like, for production purposes,
that makes
it's like
kind
of a waste to do 2. Same thing with the other big guests we had. They only gave me 20 minutes with him. It's like, God, I need an hour.
I know.
Deep with these guys.
All right, Marty Supreme, the latest movie from Josh Safdie, who made Uncut Gems and Good Time. It is in many ways a very similar movie in terms of pacing, nervousness, frenetic energy. It is Timothy Chalamet at his best so far. This dude is entering superstardom. You're talking about playing the lead in Dune and Dune 2, going into playing Bob Dylan, and then this role. Like, the guy is trying to be the modern day Leo for this generation. The casting is outrageous. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Tyler the Creator, a guy who was on like Barstool Idol in 2021, Kimball Walker and Tracy McGrady make cameos. George Gervin, the Iceman.
They're not playing themselves, right? They're not playing themselves,
no,
right?
They're Globetrotters. They're not. Yeah, they're not playing themselves. Unlike Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems.
Got it.
I would like same frenetic energy that you have in Uncut Gems, but more heart to it. An incredible ending. One of those movies that like is edited tightly, even though it's at 2.5 hours. You never like, oh, I'm good. In fact, I went to the bathroom because I have a small bladder and have to constantly pee, and I missed one of the most important scenes in the entire movie. And I'm like, I got to go see it again just so I get that scene.
So you saw it again?
Just what'd you say?
You saw it twice already?
No, I said we're going to go again because at some point. But it's one of those movies that you're going to want to see twice. I really do think that. Right up there this year with One Battle After Another. It's going to be a great race in the Best Actor category. I'm not sure that it's going to make a run for Best Picture. I think it'll probably get nominated. But like a good time for everybody. Like I really would highly recommend it. Michael, my brother, said best movie he's seen since Now You See Me 3 or something like that.
I saw that Instagram post.
Yeah, he's absurd.
Funny.
So
yeah, I want to see it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
I think it's going to be one I see in theaters. Now, I texted you the shows that I've watched. Black Rabbit. So we're on a run of great shows. Black Rabbit, The Beast
Bateman,
in Me.
Right?
Bateman and freaking the English guy. I'm not good at names. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, it's all right.
Beast in Me and All Her Fault. Dude, on all three, I highly recommend. Black Rabbit was incredible. All three of them were awesome. You should definitely check them out. Jude Law. It's Jude Law and Jason Bateman.
Gotcha.
It's been out for a while, I think. I think we're kind of late to it. But they play brothers. It's very New York, very gritty New York crime, theft, hostages, all this stuff. It's an awesome movie. So awesome show. So we just finished that. Beast in Me was really good. The girl from Homeland is the lead in there. And the guy from The Americans. Did you watch The Americans?
Yeah.
The TV show?
Yeah.
That actor. And then All Her Fault is a good one as well. So I'd recommend those three. One a very good run of shows. All right, David. Anything else?
No, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you saw this week on social media, but Bill Simmons kind of went viral for his top 50 rewatchables of the 21st century, and people are just laughing at like how weird, mediocre his film opinions are. I think there's a lane for you there of just being like, this is just I'm not trying to be a TV critic. I'm just letting you know. Go sit down and watch Beast in Me. Like it bangs. So I mean, I think you ought to consider that.
David watches a lot of TV and a lot of movies. You're more of a movies guy. Is that accurate? Like you're a movie
man,
that's
more
you're
of a movies
kind of
guy.
like a analyst. And also, what was I going to say? Something else I was going to say. I forgot.
Follow me on Twitter at David R. Allen Jr. Trying to get some movie takes out there this year. I'll do a little better job.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Check out Rowback, BHO20. Buy the UNC stuff. Buy their golf stuff. Oh yeah, I'm golfing tomorrow too. I golfed yesterday. I'm golfing tomorrow. Really
Nice.
getting into golf. We got to play soon. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next, guys. Big episode. Big special guest next episode. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Really helps us. Comment on the stuff. Share it with friends. Tell a friend about this podcast. YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Have a great weekend.